Hello, good morning. It's my pleasure to be here this morning, and I'd like to thank Sustainable Westchester and the New York League of Conservation Voters, as well as the Pace Energy and Climate Center for putting this event together today. And you've all really been leaders obviously in this area, so I really appreciate it. For those of you who don't know me, I chair the Westchester Board of Legislators Committee on Environment and Health, and I'm also the vice chair of the Committee on Planning, Economic Development, and Energy. My committee used to include energy, but we've done some rearranging, so now I get to be on 2 committees. I'm actually on about 10 committees, but yeah, in any event, despite these lofty titles, I have to confess that I am not an expert on everything environmental and sustainable and energy-wise. I have to rely on people like you to inform me about what is really important, what the issues are, what the alternatives are. I, of course, do some of my own research. I do read. I do attend events like this. I plan to stay today and hear what everybody has to say, but I also really rely on people like Janet Harcum sitting over there, and Ellen Weininger sitting over there, and Michelle De La Fontaine sitting over there to really help me to understand all of the things I need to know. Because as you know, elected officials can't be experts on everything, and that's why we rely on you guys. So the fact is we're very fortunate, though, in Westchester to have a lot of experts, and we are really fortunate that we have, through science, through engineering, and just plain hard work, a lot of people who are working and making progress on green energy. And there are also others who've been passionate and outspoken and who have been advocates of working against climate change. And I'm happy to say that now on our board of 17 people, I don't think there's anyone left who does not believe in climate change. So, although the federal government seems to be hell-bent, sorry I didn't use as nice words as you did, on rolling back important environmental regulations here in New York, thanks to the efforts of our senators and legislators at the state level, and also here, especially in Westchester, we're determined to move aggressively to meet the challenges of climate change. So, as you know, we're here today particularly to see how we can meet the goals that have been set up through the Climate Leadership and Community Protection Act. And you're probably thinking, well, since you're not the expert, sit down, let us talk. So I'm just going to tell you why, I think you already know, but why it's important to get government involved, and we are here to help you any way we can. Obviously, we can pass legislation. At the Westchester County level, we can only pass legislation that applies to Westchester County, and sometimes only legislation that applies to our Westchester County-owned property and businesses. So we have a limited scope in that regard. But we also feel that we should be modeling the correct behavior for other municipalities. Some of them are way ahead of us. I mean, I'm looking at Nancy Seligson. she's certainly been out there in front. Tom Roach, many people. But, it's important to do things at the county level, and also we can help with shared services and things like that. So, for example, on electric vehicles, the legislature passed a law a few years ago saying that we need to convert our fleet, and, we should, as we are replacing old vehicles, we should be getting more energy efficient vehicles. That was something that was passed by the legislature, and it has been implemented. And for example, as many of you may know, we now have, all of our buses are either already hybrid or they will be hybrid in the next couple of years. And I think we've also purchased a couple of all electric buses to see how that works so that we can be moving in that direction. And that's also true of our other vehicles. So that's something that's really important. And we've also helped to make that available to municipalities because they don't have the same, of course, bargaining power that we might have. And if we're ordering a lot of vehicles, why can't they piggyback on it? So those are the kinds of things that we can do between the legislature and the executive branch. The other thing that I think is really, really important that we do and that I take very seriously is the dissemination of information. I send out e-blasts every single day to my district, which is close to 60,000 people, to tell them about things that are going on around the county. Sometimes it's something like, right now it's the coronavirus, and we are, sending out messages every single day to inform people and keep them updated. Sometimes it's things like events like this, just letting people know this is happening. There's all different kinds of things we do, but we can get that information out by email. I get it out also by Facebook, and not just my Facebook page, but I share to all of the local Facebook pages in my communities that I think would be interested. All the sustainability committees, all of the seniors and things like that. Also, obviously, we get out there in the community and talk to people directly. So we can really help get your message out, and that's something that I think you should ask us to do, and we're happy to do it. And related to that, we also can connect people to other people and resources that are interested in the same topic. So for example, a couple of weeks ago, I met, along with two of my colleagues, some representatives from NYSERDA who are specifically working on the offshore wind power initiatives on Long Island. And the reason that we brought them in is my colleague who chairs the Labor Committee thought, we should talk to these people to hear about, jobs. And, but he also invited me and Catherine Parker, who chairs the Energy Committee, and we learned a lot that day, and we found out that on Long Island there will be a couple of colleges, Stony Brook University being one of them, who will offer courses that will, help advance the offshore wind power, program, so that people can actually learn to do the jobs that are going to be needed once these things really get going. And because we heard that, and we thought, well, we should get this going in Westchester as well, we were able to connect them with FCWC and our youth bureau, because they are putting on, as some of you may know, an environmental justice. It'll include justice, but it's a youth environmental summit next week, the 11th, March 11th, at the county center. So we said, hey, are you going to be there at this? And they said, oh, we didn't know about this, even though I think NYSERDA is one of the sponsors. But these people who are in charge of the offshore wind project didn't know. So now they're going to be there, they're going to table there, and they're going to do a presentation there. So we have the ability, because we talk to so many different people, to connect people, to connect resources, and again, that's something we're happy to do, and I'm happy to have people come and speak to my committee, the Environment Committee, about the projects that they're working on. I've had that before, and I'm happy to do it again, and then that gets videotaped, and people can watch it whenever they want. Other legislators, sit and they hear it, and again, we can refer people to it, so it's really important. And I just want to make one last comment, that something that I think is really important and that we can help do, and that is to engage and encourage the younger generation. That's something, we all know, as we look around, most of us are gray, or would be gray if we weren't dyeing our hair. We know we really need to engage younger people, and there are a lot of younger people who are really interested in these topics, and hence the environmental summit that the youth are putting together. But I think it's really important for us to do what we can to help them to learn and to advocate. So that's another area where we can be really helpful. So I know everyone's anxious to get to the main part of the program. I know I am. And I'm really looking forward to working with all of you to really get the job done. Thank you. Thank you.